Yes, probably, I'm going to take more than the 5 minutes. And I'm going to say some things that are probably controversial, and there's going to be some people that are unhappy with me. Surprise, surprise. First, I'm glad that Mariana came in. My first issue is the two commissioners that own oil and gas interests. And I wasn't here, but as I understand, it was stated in the last meeting that if we, the two commissioners, Shirley and I, if we didn't contact the Ethics Commission about this, that we would be reported or somebody would contact us concerning that. Now, if you all recall, Dan was advised by the Ethics Commission to resign because of his extensive potential ownership. And if you all also recall, we had to hire someone, and that was an exercise in futility because the two individuals that applied and we interviewed owned interest in oil and gas. So we had, I think it was probably Mr. Sandora requested Beth Keller. Well, let me back up. The one gentleman sent in an explanation that he owned a portion of 60 acres and a portion of the mineral rights under 60 acres. And so what was requested, I think, by Mr. Sandora, and I think Beth Keller sent a copy of Mr. DeBruler's letter to the Ethics Committee. We didn't hear anything for, I would say, 2 months at least.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. In the meantime, Mr. Riston became available and he was hired. Shortly after he was hired, we received a response. And one part of the response, and it's talking about Mr. DeBruler, the gentleman who owned a portion of the 60 acres and a portion of the mineral rights, it says he may be employed as the floodplain manager for the county. He may not, however, perform the duties of the floodplain manager that may affect any rights related to any of the 60 acres owned by or promised to himself or his family members. That seems pretty clear to me. Now, number one, and I discussed this with April, and she kind of cleared it up for me, although I don't necessarily agree with the Ethics Commission or the law. You know, in any situation, we as citizens have the right to either break the law or we have the right to obey the law. And when you break the law is when you pay the penalty. Now, in this case, in Dan's case, he wasn't given the opportunity to either abide by the law or obey the law. My position is, if there is an issue that affects anything that I own, property rights or mineral rights, and it's an issue with the floodplain, you don't have to worry about calling the Ethics Commission. I've got enough ethics to know that's a conflict of interest, and I would step aside. I would recuse myself. So, another point that I want to make here is, as far as the comment that we should either contact the Ethics Commission or somebody else was going to contact the Ethics Commission. It seems to me like many times over the last few months, over the last several months, we've heard the comment made, the county commissioners are afraid to do such and such because we're afraid of somebody is going to sue us. Somebody's going to threaten to sue us. Well, my comment here is, what's the difference? What's the difference here if somebody says, you better contact the Ethics Commission, or I'm going to contact the Ethics Commission. This is my time. And so my point is, number one, if it becomes an issue, I will recuse myself, and I know that Shirley will too. But we shouldn't have to recuse ourselves if we have no interest in the particular property. So, if you want to report me, help yourself. I think that this pretty well explains the issue. Now, like I said, I'm going to be quite long here tonight. So, if you don't like what I'm saying, well, anyway. Over the past several months, there have been several times that county commissioners, not just me, but all of us, have been accused of not caring about people in the county or people who are working out here on these well pads. I wish to address this. Now, if you all recall, here about 2 or 3 meetings ago, during a back and forth between myself and those who are opposed to the drilling in the county, I said I asked all those who were opposed to drilling to please raise their hand. And there were 6 to 8 people, maybe a few more that did. So then I made some comment and I said, you all. Well, a meeting or two later, I was, the comment, you look upon us as different and you call us you all. Well, what can I call you? You don't like to be referred to as you all, but let's go back 30, 40, 50 years and what I will call you all's immigration. Doddridge County was a very peaceful, quiet, and poor county. Back in the 60s, you could buy a lot of Doddridge County property for $30 an acre. Price of real estate did not rise very quickly compared to surrounding and northern or northeastern states, many of who I refer to as you all either made your fortunes on real estate deals or some other means, and you decided to move to Doddridge County because the land was cheap, cheaper than the aforementioned areas. You came to Doddridge County and purchased land. Now, it seemingly was up, many times was up at the head of a holler. The very areas that many Doddridge County residents were wanting to escape from. This has been a trend from then until recently. I don't offer any reasons why you all want to purchase the land where you do, but instead, I wish to let you all do with your property as you wish, and hope that you will allow me to do the same with mine. I have heard the comment made many times, you may move here and live here for many years, but you're not one of us. and are not accepted by those of us who have lived here all our lives. I will offer an opinion on this. If you moved here with the intention of becoming a part of our community, you will be okay, because you will join in with the residents and you will become one of us. If you moved here and looked down upon the residents as less than you all, then you'll never be one of us. It depends on your attitude and not the attitudes of the lifelong residents. Now, to specifics. Once again, I've heard comments made about upstream of the water plant in West Union. Once again, let me take you back 50 years or so. There were not nearly as many indoor facilities in Doddridge County as there are today. Yes, I'm talking about toilets. Anyone here remember all the outdoor facilities that used to be here in Doddridge County? I certainly do. Do you remember where most of those toilets were located? They were located out next to the small stream that flows past most people's house in Doddridge County. Why were they located where they were located? Did you ever see Dad or some other person out behind the little brown shack out back with a shovel during a heavy rainstorm when the stream would get up and ready to overflow its banks? Guess where all that went? Yep, downstream. Yes, most of Doddridge County has indoor facilities nowadays, but I would bet that you could still find some toilets in Doddridge County today, and I would also bet that you might find many septic systems that do not have the proper fields and that flow directly into our creeks that are upstream of the water system for West Union, Middleburn, and all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. Not the same type of toxic waste that you all are talking about, but toxic waste, just the same. You talk about oil spills and the effects on the water supply. Do you think that this is the first time that this has ever happened in Doddridge County? There have been oil spills many times over the years. The solution then was to dam up the oil downstream from the leak and ignite it and burn it off. Can't do that nowadays. That dreaded EPA. Now to the issue of our commissioners just don't care. You all have made it abundantly clear that you want us to declare a moratorium on drilling here in Doddridge County. The County Commission has reminded you consistently that we do not issue drilling permits or control private property in Doddridge County. Would you like for the County Commission to, let's say, regulate the growing of gardens in Doddridge County and what you can or cannot grow on your property? Then why do you think that we have the right or the power to do something similar to a mineral rights owner? It is their property, just as the surface is yours. Let's discuss the issue of developing one's mineral rights and the economic benefits. Let's look at the fact that many residents here in Doddridge County have paid taxes on their mineral rights for many years. Now they may begin to show some economic benefit. But you all don't care about that. Remember, the reason that many of you moved to West Virginia was the property was very cheap. And you all had just reaped the benefits of rising, should I say exploding real estate values on the property you owned wherever you came from. What about the person who saw the opportunity to put in camping spots to serve the oil and gas workers? They are just simply making money on property that they have been paying taxes on for many years, helping to make life more comfortable for their families. But you all don't care about that. What about the people here in Doddridge County that have struggled for years under a loaded debt that can breathe a sigh of relief because they made the most of pipeline or lease money. But you all don't care about that. What about the families that live here in Doddridge County that struggle to live on $10,000 to $20,000 per year? And believe me, I am a tax preparer. I know that there's a lot of people here in Doddridge County that live on $10,000 to $20,000 a year. Because there just isn't much opportunity for more here. But you all don't care about that. What about churches and organizations here in Doddridge County that depend on donations in order to provide for the citizens of Doddridge County? Increased dollars in the county generally means increased contributions. But you all don't care about that. Now I'm going to get specific without getting specific. Most of you know that I prepare taxes and I see what many people in this county make, income-wise, of course. I will not disclose specifics, but over the years, I have prepared a tax return for a person that had some challenged children. And over the years, I had never seen this person smile. Never. I assumed it was because of the everyday obstacles that this person encountered because of the aforementioned challenges. The last 2 years, when dropping off tax information, I actually saw this person smile and laugh. Maybe I'm being presumptuous in thinking that the reason for the smiles was that the oil and gas industry had paid this person for lease fees, right-of-ways, and now royalties. Maybe not. But you all just don't care about that. What about the increased business that restaurants, parts stores, hardware stores, grocery stores, convenience stores, and all other business owners in the area are experiencing? But you all just don't care about that. What about the over-the-road truck driver that can now get a job here in Doddridge County and be home every night rather than just a rare weekend off? But you all just don't care about that. What about the young people just graduating from schools in this area? They used to have to leave the area just to find a good paying job. Now at least they have the opportunity to stay here if they wish. But you all just don't care about that. Now, I've said a lot of things. Do I really believe all these allegations of you all just don't care about that? No, not really. I only make these statements to highlight the fact that we may have different philosophies, but we all care for our fellow man. To say that I, Greg Robinson, do not care if workers on a well pad get hurt doing their job really hurts me. The things that I just said, just trying to get your attention, but it hurts when somebody says it to you. Now, do I want the oil and gas companies to obey laws? Of course I do. Am I satisfied with the roads and the conditions? Of course not. However, the county commission does not control this situation. But I and any other county commissioner who wants to go and going to travel to Charleston and coordinate with Roger Omine and any other of our representatives that will go, and we will visit the Department of Highways to let them know of our frustrations. Maybe it will help, maybe not, but we will see. Do I want to see special privileges for the oil and gas companies? Of course not. We should all operate under the same set of laws and rules. Now, to the frustrations encountered daily with these oil and gas companies. I have in past county commission meetings discussed with you the task force concept in another county affected by the problems with the oil and gas industry. This past Thursday, the Doddridge County LEPC met, and I believe that stands for Local Emergency Planning Committee or Council. And Pat Heaster has organized through the OES various disaster plans and just what has been accomplished thus far. Remember the generator purchases last year? Well, we now have many emergency shelters in the county are in the process of setting the plans in place to operate these shelters in case of an emergency. These and other purchases are possible due to increased valuation in the county due to oil and gas. But the real benefit of this meeting, in my opinion, is that now we may begin dialogue with the oil and gas companies about safety on the roads and other issues. We have a volunteer who happens to be an engineer that will be working with these companies and will communicate. I believe that this is the main problem here, lack of communication. As you can see, this is not an easy task, but we have taken the initial steps and hope to see great results. Now, as to the public comments segment of our county commission meetings, we have heard numerous times your calls for us to place a moratorium on drilling. We have heard numerous times about your concerns about various issues concerning the oil and gas companies. Many times during the same meeting, over and over. We, the three of us sitting up here, have heard your comments. We may agree or disagree, but many times we cannot do anything about these problems, or we may just not agree with you. So I'm going to propose to the President of the County Commission that in the future during public comment, that if someone suggests something that has been brought to our attention numerous times, that the President simply use his gavel and then ask, is there anything new? And if not, then he says, move on. Some might suggest that this is a bit harsh, but all you have to do is check with other people in the county commission meetings that say, why drag this on? Mr. President, I move that we adopt this manner of keeping the meetings as short as possible for the benefit of all participants. I apologize for making this so very long, but this was a long time in coming.
Wait just a minute. You got a motion on the floor?
I'll move that we adopt that manner of keeping the meetings.
Is there any discussion on this? Wait a minute. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I think I probably have said what he'd say.
Sounds like a good plan.
Well, I have something to say before we vote.
Okay.
I can't agree with you, Commissioner Robertson,
Okay.
because I think you're taking the rights away from people. We give them 5 minutes to speak, and they're entitled to speak their 5 minutes however they want to speak it. That's my feeling. Okay, you made the motion?
Well,
Okay.
okay. I made a motion.
Okay. Motion's been made. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. I vote nay. Ayes have it, the motion's carried. Okay, are you done with your...
I'm done.
Okay.